to Sweets, Treats, and Eats, the Mini Clinic. I'm Howie Morgasen. On this episode of the Mini Clinic, we're going to talk about entertaining with summer fruits. So you're getting ready for a cookout or a barbecue. You're going to have family and friends over, and you're putting together the menu for what you're going to serve. So you've got the entree all put together, the hot dogs, the hamburgers, the chicken, but now it's time for dessert. So what we're going to talk about on this episode are quick ideas for putting together great looking, great tasting desserts. The first one we're going to do is based on an Italian specialty, which is marinated fruit. And what we're going to use is peaches, because that's a great summer fruit. And we're going to use Prosecco, which is a sparkling white Italian wine. And we're going to marinate them. So why don't we get started with it? So we have our peaches here. Make sure when you go to buy the peaches that you buy peaches that are ripe, that they're not hard or crunchy, because when you marinate them, the riper they are, the more of the wine will soak into the peaches, and that's what you want to do. So make sure you get ripe peaches like this. So I have a couple of different knives here, and and you may have one of these knives or all of these knives, so it's up to you. To cut the peach, and what you want to do is you want to cut the peach in half all the way around. And then if it works the way it's supposed to, you should be able to twist it like that and pull it apart. So then what you do is you turn the peach over like that, and then you cut it into slices. And not too big. And be careful with your fingers. And so you have slices that look like this. And so I'm going to put those in the bowl over here. And then I have the other half. So I have the pit here, and I'm sort of going to work around it, because that's probably the easiest way to do it. Or I can pull it out. Let's try it. Oh yeah, it's pretty easy. So we'll pull the pit out, sorry. And then we'll slice this up here. So I'm going to keep slicing. I actually have a whole bowl of peaches that I have to get through. And when we come back, I'm going to show you what the next step is. So stay with us. All right, so we have the peaches all cut up, and it turns out it's an awful lot of peaches, so I don't know if we're going to need all of them, but not a problem. Whatever we have left over, put in the fridge, or for a long time, put it in a Ziploc bag in the freezer, and you can pull them out whenever you're ready. So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to take the peaches and put it in this glass pitcher. Now, you can use any type of pitcher for this. If I use the glass pitcher because you can see through, so when the Prosecco is in and the peaches are in, you'll be able to see, how nice it looks. But if you don't care about the display, you can use one of those plastic pitchers, Tupperware pitchers, and then you could set it up that way. Another thing is, if you don't like alcohol, what you can do is you can use fruit juice. You can use sparkling apple cider. That would be really nice. Or sparkling grape juice. Or you can use regular fruit juice and then put a little salsa in it, and it will do the same thing. So if you don't like wine or alcohol, you can do it with the fruit juice. So I have the Prosecco over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour it in to the peaches, and once it's all in there, I'm just going to give it a quick mix. So since there is fizz in there, we just have to be careful as we pour it to make sure it doesn't go over the top. And I think we're in pretty good shape where we are right now. Perfect. So now I'm just going to give it a quick mix to get it all settled in there. And then I'm going to put it in the fridge overnight. And then what we're going to do is take a look at serving suggestions for this. So stay with us. All right, so you can see that we've had our pitcher of peaches and Prosecco sitting in the refrigerator for about 6 hours. And you can see that the wine started to turn color, and that's from the peaches. So the peaches are starting to get good and marinated. So let's talk about a couple of ways that you could serve this. One is straight up the peaches and the wine. So you have the peaches here, and you just need to dig in and take a bite. And you could taste the wine, and it's very yummy. Another way you can do it is I have some vanilla ice cream here. I have those same peaches, but now I cut them up a little bit, and I'm going to take some of those peaches and put it over the ice cream like that. And then I have a little bit of the wine that I'm going to pour over it like that. And now look at that. Does that look delicious? Vanilla ice cream with peaches and Prosecco. So let's give that a little try. This is amazing. So you should try this. It's very easy to put together for your next outdoor barbecue or entertainment. This will be a big hit. So try it. I think you'll like it. We just tasted that delicious marinated peaches and Prosecco, and we showed great ways for you to serve it. So now we're on to the watermelon basket, which is what we have here. So there are all kinds of crazy ways to cut up and carve melons for presentation. I just do basic ones. I aspire someday to learn how to do the fancy ones. But in all of the videos that I watched on how to do this, what they said is the easiest way to do it is mark up the watermelon how you want to cut it. So that gives you guides to do it. And they recommended masking tape. So that's what I've used here. So in order to create the basket, you're going to have the bottom piece of the basket, and you can see the tape for that. And then we're going to have a handle over the top, and that's what this is here for. So that's sort of our cutting guidelines to sort of set up the basket. So why don't we start? So you need a good, sharp, serrated knife like this. I have two here. This is a rougher cut one. This is a finer cut one. And then I have a paring knife to sort of, clean the edges out and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do first is make a cut for the handle. Okay, and I'm just going to go down to the tape. Then I'm going to spin it around and make sure I go down to the tape over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come across, spin it around, come across, and then what I'm going to do is lift out that section of the watermelon. I'll put that over here, and then I'll clean that up. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on this, clean it up a little, and when we come back, I'll start scooping out the watermelon. So stay with us. So what we have, we cut out following the masking tape. We took the masking tape off now. And what we have is our basket with a handle ready to go. So inside is the watermelon. And now what we have to do is remove the watermelon to make room to put the watermelon and the fruit back in. So we're using this. This is called a melon bowler for obvious reasons. You can do small ones and you can do bigger ones. We're going to do the bigger ones. So what you just do is you put it in, you turn it around, and then you just put it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop this out, and then when we come back, I'm going to show you how we get the other melons and fruit ready to go. So stay with us. We scooped out the watermelon, and now that's off to the side for now. And now there's some additional fruit that we're going to put in our basket. So we have a honeydew melon here, and we have a cantaloupe here. And so what I did to save time is I cut them in half, and I already scooped that half, and then I saved a half to show you how to do it. So when you cut the melon open, there's seeds and stuff in the middle. So you take a spoon and you just clean it all out, and then it looks like that, and then it looks like that. So they're ready to go. So again, our melon bowler. So if you don't have one of these, most supermarkets sell them, or Amazon has them, fairly inexpensive, maybe a couple of bucks at the most. So pick one up. Again, it has large on one side, small on the other. We're going to use the large one. So we're going to start with the honeydew. And when you're scooping it, go as close to the side as you can, and then turn it all the way around. And that gives you a round melon ball. So you go in you go all the way around, and then you pop out the melon ball. And it's very simple to do. But if you stay near the side, which I'm showing you, what happens is you then have another whole layer in here to scoop against. So that's the honeydew. Now let's take a look at the cantaloupe. So cantaloupe, same thing. We're gonna stay near the side, and we start scooping, and we pull out a ball, and we go around, we go all the way around, and we pop out the melon ball, and all the way around. So I'm gonna keep scooping these out, and then when we come back, I'll show you how we're gonna put this together. So stay with us. We have our watermelon basket. It's all hollowed out. My wife did a great job of scraping all the insides out, and we let it sit for a little bit. And now we're gonna decorate the basket before we put the fruit in it. And now we're gonna put like a jagged edge all along it to make it fancy. I have this pretty cool tool that I got because I bought a kit to do fruit baskets. But if you don't have it, you can use a paring knife to do the same thing. So the way this tool works is I just push it in and pull it out, and then I turn it over and I go next to it and I push it in and I pull it out, and I'm just gonna keep doing that. And then when we come back, I'm gonna show you what the basket looks like. So stay with me. So here's our decorated, you can see around the edges that we put that decoration in there. That's pretty easy to do. And now we have our fruit over here, you can see, and we showed you how you use the melon bowl to take all the fruit out. We also added some cute little grapes that my wife found in the supermarket for a little more color. And the reason why we put it in the bowl first is because it allows us to mix it better. Because once you put it in the basket, there's not a lot of room to mix it around. So we put it in this nice bowl, we're gonna mix it up, and then we're gonna start filling the basket. So we'll turn it so we can get access to it, and then we're gonna start putting the fruit in. Okay, so I'm gonna continue to fill up the basket, and then when we come back, I'm gonna show you a little more decorating that we can do to finish it off. So stay with us. We're almost there. So you can see that our basket now has the fruit in it. So we put that in. We decorated around the outside of the basket. And now we're gonna make some flowers to put around the handle. So I have this thing here. You can pick it up online. Amazon probably has it, or supermarkets might have it. This is just a cutter. And several different shapes come in a package. And you can use it for fruit. You can use it for any hard food item that you want to cut out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I have the rind from the watermelon, and basically what I'm gonna do is push it down into the rind, and then when it comes out, it looks like this over here. And this is the flower. And it's pretty thick, so I actually cut 2 flowers out of it, which is what I have here. And then I'm gonna take a toothpick, and I took a little piece of lemon to simulate the middle of the flower. And then what I do is I put the toothpick through the lemon and then through the flower. Push it through a little bit, and we're there. So I have a couple here that I made. And what I'm gonna do is I'll grab one here and I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sort of push it in to the rind, best I can. It's a little bit tough, you might have to push. There we go. And then what you're gonna do is you'll trim off the end of it, but not too much so it doesn't fall off. And then I'm gonna put the flowers around the whole basket, and then we'll come back and talk about what's next. So stay with us. So here it is. Here is our fruit basket ready to go. And it looks great, and it's not too difficult to do. It takes a little bit of prep work to do it, but you can do it in the morning and have it ready for the afternoon. It's, has melon, it has cantaloupe, honeydew, watermelon, grapes. We hollowed out the watermelon, and then we decorated it, which is pretty straightforward if you ask me. We put flowers on the handle, which look great, so it's ready to serve. Coming up next on the episode is a delicious fruit salsa accompanied with cinnamon sugar tortilla chips. Yum! Stay tuned. We had that awesome watermelon boat, and I'm hoping that you try that. It's pretty simple and straightforward to do. Now we're going to do salsa, but typically when you say salsa, you think of peppers and tomato and onions and stuff like that. But we're going to talk about a fruit salsa. So a fruit salsa, and we're going to do it with summer fruits. So it's going to be really good. So I have a number of fruits here, so why don't we get started? Prep is important for this. You can either prep and have the stuff in the refrigerator like I'm doing, or you can prep and make it, the same day, whatever's up to you. But there's a lot of, fine chopping and cutting. There's a couple of canned fruits that we have is a good way to do it as well, because we want the juice from them. So we're going to start out with some strawberries, some finely chopped strawberries, and we'll put those in. Now we have some canned pineapple. And so canned crushed pineapple, and they get it really finely crushed, which would be difficult to do if you were doing it with fresh pineapple. So we're going to take crushed pineapple and put it in there. Then we have, again, we're going back to the can. We have some diced peaches here. And diced peaches, they do the cutting for you, so it's nice and small. So we're going to put peaches in there. And then last, we have some fresh kiwi. So kiwi is not a fruit that I'm terribly familiar with. I have had it from time to time. So we have some fresh kiwi that we cut up, and we'll put that in there as well. So now what we're going to do is we have the juice left over from the pineapple and the peaches, and I purposely strained it out because in looking at the salsa, as I mix it around, I'm going to try and judge whether how much liquid I need to add to sort of make it so it can be picked up easily. So it looks like I can probably use a little bit of juice in here. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of the peach juice, put it in, and then I'm going to take a little bit of the pineapple juice and put it in. And then I'm going to mix it some more, and that probably looks like a good consistency. So I'm probably going to stop there. And so I'll mix this up, and then when we come back, I'm going to show you how to make those delicious cinnamon sugar tortilla chips to go with this. So stay with us. All right, so we made the fruit salsa. That looks really good. Now to accompany it, cinnamon sugar tortilla chips. So we're going to use flour tortillas, basic ones that you buy in the supermarket. So you take one, right, that's sort of round, you put it on your cutting board, and then what you do is you sort of estimate about halfway, and then you just cut it, okay? And then you pick up the half, and then you take the half, and you figure out half, you cut it again, okay? And then you take the half, and you cut it again, and you get chips. So then we take the other quarter that we have, we cut it, we put it there, and then we put it up where we were. Okay, so now let's make the chips. So I have some butter here, and I have some cinnamon sugar here. So what you do is you take the chip, and I have a brush here, and I'm just gonna basically put some butter on the chip, lay it down here, take a little cinnamon sugar, and put it on like that. It's pretty straightforward, right? So take the chip, brush it with some butter, put it on the tray, little cinnamon sugar, okay? It's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to keep making these chips. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to make 2 trays of them. They're so good. So, and when I come back, what I'm going to show you is how it looks together with the salsa. So stay with us. Our fruit salsa is complete, and now we have our tortilla chips, our cinnamon sugar tortilla chips brushed with a little butter and baked in the oven. They are awesome. So what you do is you take your chip, you put a little bit of this awesome salsa on it, Oh, let's try that again. There we go, and we take a bite. Really do need to try this. So coming up next is a delicious fruit crumble. So stay with us. I'm gonna get into more of this. So we just finished the fruit salsa with those awesome cinnamon sugar tortilla chips. And now the last dish for this episode, which is a fresh berry crumble that we're gonna make in individual servings. More about that a little later, but we're gonna start out with the crumble. So here we go. The crumble starts out with all-purpose flour, a little bit of salt, a little bit of baking powder, some sugar, and then here I have some grated butter. So what happened is I put the butter in the freezer, got it solid, then I took it out and I got the grater and I grated against it, and that's how you get this grated butter. So grated butter goes in. There we go. Make sure we get it all in there. Okay. Then we have some vanilla paste. We got that. Then we have 2 egg yolks. All right. And we have a little apple cider vinegar. Okay, and then we're gonna mix this around. And so I am gonna continue to mix this until it's all combined. And when we come back, we'll work on the fresh fruit part of it. So stay with us. So we did the crumble, we put that aside, and now we're going to put the fruit mixture together. So we're gonna start with the fruit. So I have some strawberries, fresh strawberries. We have some fresh blackberries. We'll put in. We have some fresh raspberries. We'll put in. And then we have some fresh blueberries. We'll put in. And we'll give it a little bit of a mix to get us started. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of lemon zest, some sugar, and some cornstarch. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this all together. And as I mix this, when we come back, we're going to put the fruit crumbles together to go in the oven. So stay with us. Now it all comes together, and you can see I did some of them, so you can see what it looks like, but I left 2 so to show you how to put together. So in the ramekin, you can see at the bottom that I have put a little bit of the crumble, so at the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is take some of the fruit and put it in the ramekin. And I don't want to go all the way up to the top, but pretty close. Okay, that's that one. Then let me fill this one up. So I did tell you I sprayed the ramekins with cooking spray, just to make sure nothing would stick. Okay, so now I have the crumble over here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sort of take the crumble and put it all over the top. Okay, it doesn't cover every space. It's just, you know, there's a fair amount on each one, but you just wanna make sure the crumble, you know, gets some good coverage. And it's supposed to be in pieces, that's good. Let's grab some more over here. So like that. And then when we're finished putting the crumble on it, we're gonna put it in a 375-degree oven. It's probably gonna be about 15-20 minutes, but we're probably gonna check it after 10 to see what it looks like. And then we're gonna join you for the finale to see what everything looks like. So make sure you stay tuned. See you soon. Welcome to the finale. So we've prepared all of these summer fruit dishes for you. So you saw us do that. And now we're outside and we had a summer meal and we had family and friends over. So let's just go over what we put together. We started here with the fruit salsa, and we have the tortilla chips, cinnamon sugar on those. Next, we have the watermelon basket, which we carved out, and that has different fruit. Next, we had the peaches soaked in wine, Prosecco wine. And then all the way on the end, we have the Fruit Crumble, which is a berry fruit crumble. So we're going to dig in and enjoy it, but I want to thank everybody for watching the podcast, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Sweets, Treats, and Eats. See you then.